Okay, so I'm here today to provide you with my top 10 stadiums in college football. I took a lot of time to reflect when configuring this list. I drank many cups of tea and smoked many cigars while compiling this list, so I hope that's something that's of quality and something that a lot of you can resonate with. I know that there will be differing opinions out there, and people coming at me in the comment section saying, "Where's this one? Where's that one?" Guess what? I'm ready for the smoke. Give it to me. Without further ado, here is number 10, Autzen Stadium in Eugene, Oregon, home of those Oregon Ducks. Autzen Stadium is like the Quest Stadium, CenturyLink Fields, Lumen Field, whatever it's called now. Its name has changed like 3 times, where the Seattle Seahawks play. It's like the Lumen Fields of college football. Very loud in the Pacific Northwest. They're always on their feet. They bring the energy. It is just electric at Autzen Stadium. And I also have to give the University of Oregon props for installing a new video board that's 47 feet by 26 feet back in 2020, making renovations and improvements. That secures Autzen Stadium with that number 10 spot here on this list. Now, number 9, I know I'm going to catch a lot of flack for this one, but guess what? I'm ready for the smoke. I'm expecting it. Albertson Stadium in Boise, Idaho, home of the Boise State Broncos. It's a blue field. Let's be real. Let's just put it out there. It's a blue field. That is exceptional. It is so unique, and Boise State is a trendsetter when it comes to different colored fields. After Boise State introduced the blue field, all of a sudden you see these red fields and purple fields and gold fields and teal fields, but this is the OG. So I will forever respect and admire Boise State and Albertson Stadium for that reason. It also has that same scenery as the University of Oregon with Autzen Stadium. That Pacific Northwest vibe with the beautiful trees. There's mountains behind Albertson Stadium. So number 9 for Boise State with Albertson Stadium. Number 8, Kyle Fields. And I know a lot of people will be saying that this one is low, but this was a very challenging list to make, and I wanted to put Kyle Field higher, but just looking at the other contestants, number 8 was the spot that was most fitting. But you won't find a fan base in a stadium that brings it more from a spirit standpoint than Kyle Field, home of Texas A&M. The Corps of Cadets, the towel waving, I love it. The traditions are so deeply entrenched in that fan base. They do the same thing every Saturday. It's so tradition-filled, and I love that because I feel like personally that's what college football is all about. And I also love feeling like those military roots and those agricultural roots. Again, Texas agriculture and mining, I really feel that embedded into that experience at Kyle Fields. Excellent fan experience, number 8 for Kyle Fields. Number 7, Ben Hill Griffin Stadium, home of the Florida Gators. Now, this stadium is smaller compared to some of the other stadiums on this list. It holds 88,548. Still sounds like a lot compared to NFL stadiums, but believe it or not, compared to the ones on this list, it's relatively small. But yet, it's still electric. The environments at Ben Hill Griffin Stadium is like no other. It's very unique, very loud, very intimidating. And one detail that I really appreciate about this stadium is the little escarpment. There's multiple. There's one that says, "This is Gator Country. This is the swamp." They make it very known that you're entering the confines of the swamp. And then there's also another escarpment that lists out the national championships that Florida has won. That's really cool as well, showcasing the school and the program's history. A lot of cool little designs. And even though I don't want to say only because it's a big number, it holds around 88,000 people. Ben Hill Griffin Stadium is an environment like no other. Number 7 for the Gators and their stadium. Number 6, the one and only Brian Denny Stadium, which is right down the street from my apartment here in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. While there's not much that differentiates Brian Denny Stadium from a design standpoint, it has the intimidation factor. And the NFL stadium that I can compare Bryant-Denny Stadium to when it comes to that is Gillette Stadium throughout the Brady era. You come to Bryant-Denny, you come to Gillette Stadium, you know what you're getting into. The design doesn't have to be something that distinguishes the stadium. The experience and what you're getting into speaks for itself. You see Tom Brady coming out of the tunnel at Gillette Stadium doing that infamous "let's go" that he always did. And you see Saban and the Alabama football team entering Bryant-Denny Stadium to the sound of "Thunderstruck" by AC/DC. That is something that speaks for itself, and it intimidates most players, coaches, and teams that enter both respective fields. It's that intimidation factor. That's what differentiates Bryant-Denny Stadium. I have it number 6. Now with this ranking, and none of you can ever come at me for being biased or being a homer after this. I'm putting Neyland Stadium, home of the Tennessee Volunteers, at number 5. And that's something that was very, very hard for me to do as an Alabama student. But this is also a professional channel. And to remain professional, I have to, when it comes to business, I have to separate my pride from business and be honest and transparent about the rankings and be objective as well. And that is why I have Neyland Stadium at number 5. I don't know how they seamlessly execute that. Another bug. Them bugs be flying around. I don't know how they seamlessly execute that checkered pattern in the crowd every weekend. It is amazing. Those fans and the design of that stadium, it's so intentional. And it's something that I really admire about Neyland Stadium. The Rocky Top tradition. And you just feel like you're playing a backyard football game in the mountains of Tennessee when you're at or watching a game at Neyland Stadium in the fall. It really encompasses that. I love the backyard football fields. Neyland Stadium at number 5. Now, this is where it got a little tricky, got a little dicey for me between spots number 4 and 1. And I know I'm going to get blasted in the comment section because there's multiple rivalries at stake here between some of these fan bases. At number 4, I have the Big House, Michigan Stadium, home of the Michigan Wolverines. The stadium has a capacity of 107,601 people. It's the largest stadium in college football. It dwarfs pretty much any NFL stadium. One of my favorite things about the fan experience at the Big House is the playing of Mr. Brightside, and the fact that people in production actually turn down the noise coming from the speakers just so that you can hear the people in the stadium singing Mr. Brightside without any support behind them. That is amazing, and that just speaks to the tenacity and the pride of that Michigan Wolverine fan base. And it's also cool, I must note, that Michigan Stadium was modeled after the Yale Bowl. It's got that real old-school touch, but it's multiplied. It's so big, but it does have an old-school feel to it, and I love that. So Michigan Stadium, the Big House, at number 4. And now here's where I'm going to get a lot of angry people because there's a rivalry at stake here. Number 3, I had to put Ohio Stadium, the shoe, home of the Ohio State Buckeyes in Columbus, Ohio. It's one of the most popular stadiums in college football. More than 36 million fans have entered Ohio Stadium in the span of its existence. That is astronomical. And again, it's the little things, it's the subtle things when it comes to design that catches the eye of Brian Gregoire. I love that flag that's placed right to the right of one of the field goal posts. I don't know if it's the north end zone, south end zone, east, west. I'm not going to get technical, but it's right near one of the field goal posts at one of the end zones. And it looks really patriotic, and I appreciate that. And yes, the fan experience can be a little aggressive at Ohio Stadium. But when you go to a game at Ohio Stadium, you know what you're getting into. I respect that Buckeye fan base. The shoe at number 3. Number 2, the top-ranking Big Ten stadium. Beaver Stadium, home to the Penn State Nittany Lions. I love that old-school Penn State gate that the players run through before every game. And, of course, I love the whiteouts. That's just iconic. It makes the stadium iconic. Again, just like Neyland Stadium, I feel like I'm in the mountains of Pennsylvania watching this game. Watching these games at Penn State, at State College. It looks very cold, looks very mountainous, but it just looks like real tough gridiron football. I love it. The whiteouts, it's all white shakers, very well coordinated. I respect and appreciate that. It's been so loud that teams have had to call timeouts. There's been a delay of games because of how loud it's been on not only whiteouts, but typical home games at Penn State. Now, remember, infamously, Michigan had to call a timeout with Mo Bamba playing loud, the fans going on the night of the whiteouts. It's those iconic moments that make Beaver Stadium what it is, and that's why I have it at number 2. Number 1, let me take a swig of my Pure Life for suspense before revealing who number 1 is. Ooh, I need that more than I thought. All right, number 1. This one took a lot of thought. Tiger Stadium, home of the LSU Tigers. Now, the way that we really like to gauge this is, what is the stadium that people would like to play in the least, that players like to play in the least, coaches would like to compete in the least? And it's Tiger Stadium. There's a lot of very intimidating environments for various reasons in college football. There's a lot of very intricately and cool designed stadiums in college football. But there is no environment that's more intimidating, more loud, and more aggressive than Tiger Stadium. I mean, come on. Several years ago, the stadium was so loud it registered on a seismograph in that local Baton Rouge area. That is unbelievable. It takes a lot of people on their feet, yelling, screaming, cheering to register on a seismograph. But the LSU faithful and those in attendance that night at Tiger Stadium managed to make that a reality. There's nothing like Tiger Stadium. And there's nothing like that LSU fan base. And that's why Tiger Stadium ranks number 1 on my list. Now, this list is not definitive. Excuse me. So I have 1 cough limit. It's my opinion. It's what I reflected on and compiled. There's different ways to rank this. And I'm curious to hear what some of you would put as your top stadiums in the comment section below. This is a topic that can be debated on for days, weeks, months, and years. And I'm here for it. I want to talk about it. I want to hear your different angles. Please bring it in. There's so many different ways to look at it. It's an awesome topic. But nonetheless, I hope you all thoroughly enjoyed this video, and I look forward to some good, passionate college football debate in this comment section below. Have a great day. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate you and the time that you took out of your day to watch the video. And if you enjoyed it, please be sure to like the video and share it, as well as subscribe to The Era. The more likes and subscribers I get on this channel, the more resources I can attain, and the more resources I can attain, the more value I can provide to you, the viewer. And that is how I show my appreciation for you for the time that you devote to watching my videos. So thank you so much, and have a great day.